All right, so let's get started. So, professional leadership. So, today you're going to learn a few things. Number one is how to set goals. Number two is what to do to achieve your goals. Number three is how to prepare an action plan. And number four is tools of a professional leader. Okay, so we will cover these four areas this morning. Okay, so number one is what do you need to know to be successful? And guess what? There's three most important things that you need to know to be successful. Number one is what you want, right? So what is it exactly that you want? What are your goals? We keep going on about goals and goals, but a lot of people don't understand the importance of it. I always go goals. We can compare goals to a football game. In a football game, you have so many guys, running around the field with the ball, and you have two goals at each side of the field. If you took the goals away from that game, it wouldn't be a very interesting game, right? Because there is no direction and they're just running around the field with the ball. The goals are giving direction to the game. Well, exactly the same way in our life, the goals are giving direction to our life. But many people don't actually know what they want. And that really confuses themselves, but also it confuses their subconscious, because the subconscious would like to help them to achieve what they want in life. But because they haven't really decided themselves what they want, the subconscious can't really help them. And also, if you think of a higher level of, in terms of the universe, again, the universe wants to give you what you want. But if you haven't really sat down and decided this is exactly what I want in life, these are my 10 most important goals or whatever, then the universe cannot give it to you. So it's very often, in Lithuania, where I come from, we have a little joke where we say that this man is praying in the evening and he's saying, God, I'm an honest man, I'm a good man, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I help everybody, I work hard, etc., but I'm so poor, and my family is so poor. Why couldn't you help me, to win a lottery or something like that? And thunder sounds, and God's voice comes from above. And God says, John, at least buy the lottery ticket. So, you can't win the lottery without buying a ticket. You can't succeed in life without knowing what you want from life, right? So once you've decided what exactly you want, then the number two is determine the price you're going to have to pay. And guess what? There's always going to be a price to pay. Too many people say, stove, give me some heat, then I'm going to put some wood in you. God, give me a harvest, and then next year maybe I'll plant. Boss, give me a raise, and then maybe I'll start coming in on time to work. It doesn't work like that. We need to put something in first to get something out from it, right? So exactly the same way here. If you have big goals, big vision, big things that you want to achieve and do in your life, then what is the price? Because there has to be a price. If there's no price, then that means it's not going to develop you, and it's not going to really happen. So you really need to think, what is it that you're going to have to pay to achieve this goal? So there might be time, effort, getting out of comfort zone, doing things that you haven't done before, learning things you haven't learned before, or whatever it is. But you have to determine what it is in advance. And then number three is resolve to pay the price. Decide to pay the price. Because a lot of people that I meet, people that we call leaders, people that are, they do have big goals and big ambitions in their life, and they do know what they need to do in this business and what they need to do to succeed, etc. They lack this number three. They lack the third part. They lack the resolve to actually pay the price. They go, this is what I want. I know I want this, and I know I need to do this and that, but they don't do it. They don't decide to do it. And that's the challenge, because then, years can pass and decades can pass and there is no results, because they know what they need to do. They know what they want, they know what they need to do, but they're not ready to pay the price. So if you're not ready to pay the price, better pack it in right away, because there's no point, or even, wasting your breath on this thing. Okay, so goal setting. So why people don't set goals? And number one, I think it's people just don't know how to. That's probably the biggest challenge. But then secondly, once they know, I think in a way, some people are scared to set goals, because they think, oh my gosh, if I set my goals, I can fail, and there's a chance of me not succeeding in these goals, and if I don't achieve them, I feel bad, etc., or whatever. But reality is that setting goals is always good. Because even if you haven't reached the goal, we always say there is no unrealistic goal, there's only unrealistic deadlines. So you might need to give yourself more time and just go at it again and go at it again and go at it again until you achieve it. So don't be afraid to sit down and write down your goals. It's really, really important. So there's 5 keys to setting goals. Number one is change in life. You have to think, when you're setting a goal, you're creating a new pathway for yourself. Because you've been cruising, you've been going, with the flow, and now you're starting to change your life. And change sometimes is uncomfortable, sometimes is a bit scary, etc. But nothing good happens without the change. So straight away, you have to keep that in mind, that there will be a change in my life if I set a goal, because it will take you towards that direction. Number two is the area of excellence. Think, what is my area of excellence? What do I want to get good at? What do I want to succeed at? And one of the things that I heard quite recently that caught my attention, I think it was Brian Tracy, who said, decide to become the best in your area. Decide to become the best in what you do. Decide to be in the top 10% of your industry, of your field. And I thought, wow, that is so powerful. Not just to say, okay, I'm going to do the business and I'm going to try and succeed and I'm going to try to make some money, but deciding to say, okay, I'm going to be the best at this. I'm going to be in the top 10% of my company. I'm going to be in the top 10% of my industry. How powerful is that? Because if you choose to be in the top 10% of your profession, guess what? Are you going to make some money? Absolutely. Are you going to, have some results? For sure, because you're striving to be better than, 90% of your industry. But a lot of people, they get complacent, they get okay with this mediocrity, so don't do that. Try and set yourself a goal to be the best at what you do. And then a diamond field, you have already everything it takes to be successful. And there is no other way around it. You have more potential than you would need for 100 lifetimes inside of you already. You have so much inside of you, it's unbelievable. And there's this story about the diamond fields. I don't know if you've heard that story, where a man heard that somewhere there was a chance of finding diamonds. So he sold all of his land, left everything, and he went to search for these diamonds. And he kept digging and digging and digging for many, many years, and he never found the diamonds, until somebody started digging the field where he was living, where he was farming, and they found the diamonds underneath his own field. So sometimes we go looking to places elsewhere when the place to look is actually inside of us. Sometimes we go, oh, I need to find some, motivation. I need to go to a motivational training. But the motivation comes from inside of you. It doesn't come from outside. We need to motivate ourselves. Sometimes we go, oh, I need to do this and that, etc. And most of that is inside of us. So we need to sometimes start valuing ourselves more and start looking inside. What is it? Do I have more to show, or has the world seen everything I have? And for most of us, guess what? For sure, we have a lot more inside of us. Okay, number 4 is life balance. Whenever you're setting your goals, it should always balance out your life. What do I mean by that? Is that the goal shouldn't be just in one area of your life. And most people usually, they only set like business goals or financial goals or work goals. I want to earn so much money. I want to have these things in my life. These, this car, this house, etc. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's great goals. However, you shouldn't neglect all the other areas of your life, like your personal life, like your relationships, like your health, like your family, and things like that. So set goals in all areas of your life, because if you are really, really good in one area, but you're not really good at another area, guess what? It's going to have a detrimental effect on all the areas. So you want to make sure that there's always a sort of balance where, you're looking after your health, you're looking after your spirituality, you're looking after your relationships, you're looking after your business and your finances, etc. So all of these areas have to be balanced. And then number 5, set the most important goal, or set the 10 most important goals. One of the things that Brian Tracy says is, set the 10 most important goals in your life, and then keep rewriting them every day. Again, one of the biggest mistakes you could do is to write goals once and forget about them. It is good. I mean, it's better than not doing it at all, but it's not as good as if you keep rewriting your goals every day. Because this way, then you are programming your subconscious on a daily basis. You're saying, this is, look out for this, look out for this, look out for this, because I want this, because I want this. You keep reminding your mind. Number two is sometimes when you set the goal initially, your brain doesn't believe it. So if you're at the moment earning £5,000, a year, and you set yourself a goal to earn £50,000, that's like a 10 times jump. Now, there is nothing wrong with setting a goal like that, but the chances are your brain initially will go, yeah, right, no way on earth you could earn that. But if you keep shoving it in, and it keeps rejecting it, but you keep pushing it, at some point your brain will get tired of it, and it'll go, you know what? Okay, he or she seems to be determined, for this target or for this goal. Let me try and work on that. How could we get closer to that, right? So if you keep rewriting your goals on a daily basis, what happens is that you tire your brain out, and your brain starts accepting it. So if you keep rewriting your goal every day, saying, I earn this amount of money every month, I earn this amount of money every month, I earn this amount of money, at some point you'll go, you know what, let's start looking for ways to help him, to or her to achieve this goal, to start earning this money. And guess what? Then you'll start seeing your income start increasing, or whatever, it's relationships or health or whatever. I weigh so much, right now, and reality is you might be way over that, and your brain initially will go, yeah, right, go on a scale, you'll see how much you actually weigh. But if you keep writing that goal every single day, your mind will start going, okay, we need to do something to get it closer to that. So it's really, really important. Okay, so let's have a look at 12 steps to achieve goals. So it's an easy and proven method to succeed in our aims. Okay, so step number one is desire. So whatever if you want the goal to actually happen, to actually come into reality, and for the goal to be accomplished, you have to really have a desire behind it. This is what we call your why. What is the reason for you to get this thing or this achievement or this whatever, right? Because if your desire, if your why is not strong enough, then none of the other things matter, because you're not going to even do it. You're not even going to resolve to pay the price you have to pay for this if you don't really want it. So this is where it's really, really important to have a big desire for what you want to achieve, and to increase that, and we'll talk about how you can increase that as well. Number two, the goals must be measurable and realistic. So, you wouldn't set a goal, I want to earn more money, because more is how much more. So I give you extra pounds this month, and that's it. You have more than you had last month. Is that what you wanted? Probably not. So goals have to be measurable and realistic. So you have to set yourself, if it's money, how much? If it's a house, what house? How many bedrooms? How does it look like? If it's a car, what car? What color is it? What's the interior? It has to be specific, measurable and specific. And it has to be realistic, so when I say going from, I don't know, from £20,000 a year to £50,000 a year, that is realistic. But if you set yourself a goal, if you at the moment you're earning £20,000 a year, and you set yourself a goal within the year to earn £2 million a year, that might not be very, very realistic, right? So you have to the goals have to stretch you. They have to be more than you do right now or whatever, but it should be still realistic. Number three, the goal must be written down. And there is no other way around it. From my experience, it has to be written down, or it has to be printed like a picture, or it has to be somewhere, but it has to be physical. It has to be written down. So the best thing to do, if you really want to go with this, and you rewrite your goals consistently, then to have like a notebook where you can keep rewriting your goals every single day. So you can go back to the notebook and rewrite your goals, change them, improve them, increase them, or whatever, right? Where you keep redoing it and redoing it, to have like a book. Step number 4, why do you want that? Right? So why do you want that? And one of the good questions to ask is, what will happen if I achieve this? How will that make me feel? How will it be when I achieve it? Or what would happen if I didn't achieve it? And asking these questions will start giving you ideas. Why do you really, really need that? Why do you really, really want that? Number 5, analyze your current situation. So you really need to know where you are to know where you're going. So it's important to analyze your current situation and go, okay, so where I am at right now, what is my real situation? If it's your team, look, who do you actually have in your team? If it's your finances, look, what are your actual financial situation? And really, really know where you are right now. If it's, I don't know, if it's your physical shape, so where are you right now? Step number 6, set a deadline. Because again, goal without a deadline is just wish. It's how long is it going to take? You might say, oh, I want to earn so much money. But if you haven't got a deadline, then when? In 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, when do you want to earn that money? So it's important to set a deadline. So when you're writing your goal, it's written in a present tense. Well, you would write, I earn so many £1,000 a year by December 2015 or 2016 or 2017 or whatever, but it has a clear deadline. So it has a clear time frame in which it has to happen. Step number 7 is set the obstacles that you will have to overcome. And that is extremely important. A lot of people set the goals, but they don't think what might be the challenges. And, like Murphy's Law says, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So guess what? You have to prepare for that, because, successful business people, successful companies, they prepare for things to go wrong. And they know that some things will go wrong, so they prepare for that. It's the same way here. When you set a goal, think, what could go wrong? What could happen to prevent me from achieving this goal? And then try to set some structures in place that can prevent that from happening. Step number 8, what do you have to learn? So what sort of knowledge, what sort of skills you need to develop in order to achieve the goals you need to achieve? And again, as Brian Tracy says, he says, think of the most important skill. Think on one skill. If you really went to work on it and you really concentrated on it, that could change everything. That could change most of your business and most of your life and most of your income. So think of which one skill would be the most, and go to work on that skill. Master it. Become best at it. Practice it every single day, etc. Because you know that skill is your gateway. It's your key to success. Step number 9, think, who is your customer? So who are you looking for? Too often I hear, when I talk to people, I go, so who is your potential customer, or who is your potential recruit? And they go, everybody. Well, is it everybody? Probably not. Probably if it's a homeless person living in a cardboard box outside, in a town center, they might not be ideal prospect for your product or ideal prospect for your business. So think, who is my ideal customer? They call it an avatar. Create like a description of an ideal person for your business. Why is that important? Again, for your subconscious, right? Because if you create this ideal customer, this avatar in your head, and or maybe hopefully even written down, then your brain can go, okay, I can work on that. I can go and search for people like this. And guess what? You will start noticing people that fit that description on a daily basis. You'll start noticing these people. Oh, you go, oh, that person fits the description. That person fits the description. Let me talk to them. Let me give them a business card. Let me give them something, right? And step number 10, create an action plan. So goal can be short-term, medium-term, long-term, right? So goal can be big, but then break it down into action plan. So what activities can I do to get closer to that goal? What do I need to, do on a daily basis to move closer to this bigger goal? And step 11 is visualize. Now, I did a little video about visualizing this week, and it's extremely important. Very few people actually do that. And you see this guy here daydreaming, but it is important. Why is it important? Because, again, you are tricking your subconscious to accept that it is possible to be done. And what do I mean by that? Well, athletes do it all the time. Before they go and run the race, or they jump over whatever, or they do whatever they need to do for their, for their sport, they will imagine themselves, they will visualize themselves successfully doing the task over and over and over and over again. And what that does is it creates an image in their brain of them already succeeding at this particular task. But the beauty of it is that your subconscious doesn't know it's not real. If you are imagining it, your subconscious is thinking that it is actually happening. So it doesn't know that you're just imagining it, it thinks it's actually happening. So if you keep imagining speaking to a prospect successfully and the prospect responding to you well and being interested, then guess what? When you actually go and speak to the prospect, your brain will go, well, you've done it a million times already, so it's easy, and you will be better at it. If you imagine, public speaking, and if at the moment you're not, very confident public speaker, if you imagine yourself on the stage delivering a presentation or delivering a training successfully, people responding well to you, people happy, people are clapping and applauding you, and if you keep visualizing that over and over and over and over again, your brain will go, wow, you've done it a million times, it's easy. So when the time actually comes for you to do it, you're not going to freeze, you're not going to freak out, you're not going to stand up and your mind sits down, and things like that. So it really, really, really helps. Okay, step number 12 is determination. So you need to think, how determined am I? How committed am I to achieving this goal? And I always say that there's 3 levels of commitment. First level of commitment is when somebody says, I will try. And for me personally, I will try means I will quit, I just don't know yet when, right? So they already say, I'm not quite sure about this thing. The second level of commitment is when somebody says, I will do my best. And that is better level of commitment, because the person is saying, look, I will work hard, I will put, what I think is my best into this thing, so they will work much harder. But the best level of commitment is when somebody says, I will do whatever it takes. And that's the best level of commitment, because that person is basically saying, I will do even more than I think I can do. I will do things that right now I don't even know that I can do, right? So this is probably the best level of commitment, where the person is determined to achieve their goals and to achieve the success in life, whatever the price it takes. Okay, so now we're going to have a little practical exercise. So if you want to get a piece of paper and a pen with you, we'll do a little short exercise to give you a bit of practice, and then you will be able to do more of it by yourself. Okay, so for this practical exercise, number 1, I want you to think of reasons why you want to do FM. So jot down a sentence of you about what are the reasons for you to do FM. Okay, what is the reasons for you to do FM? What do you want to, what is the reason? What is the main reason for you to do FM? Okay, the number 2, I want you to jot down few short-term goals for you to achieve within FM, right? So it's a goal plus deadline and plus some tools, but we'll talk about tools later on. But think of the goals with the deadline. So until when you want to achieve something. So jot down few goals that you want to achieve in your business. Okay, so what is it that you want to achieve? So short term, so that's next 3 months, next 6 months, next maybe up to a year. We're not talking 5 years, 10 years, etc. What do you want to achieve? Okay, and then number three, are there any obstacles that you will have to overcome? Right? So have a think, what could stop you from achieving those goals? What could prevent you from getting the success? And if there are any, think how could you overcome them? So there might, if you've been in the business for a while, there might have been things that have happened in the past that have stopped you from achieving success. Think, what are these things? What has stopped you from achieving success up until now? How could you overcome that? Okay. And then number four is preparation of the most important tool, which is the list of contacts. So you need to start thinking, who are the people in my contact list who will become my customers, who will become my business partners, who will become my leaders in my organization. So you need to start thinking, who are the people whose help I will need to succeed in this business? Right? So not right now, but think of the contact list. Now, if you don't know how to write a contact list, just Google it. Go on Google and write how to write a contact list, or how to, or enter something like a memory jogger, and it will give you ideas of people to think. People in your town, people by the name of this, people who work in this field, etc. And it'll start jogging your brain to think, okay, this person I haven't thought about, this person I haven't thought about, etc. But it's important to write a list of contacts. We'll talk about that in just a second. And then number five, written strategy of introducing the business to others, right? So do you actually have a way of introducing the business to others? Do you know how to explain the business? Do you know how to explain the product? Okay. And we'll talk about that in a moment as well. And then number six is detailed plan about how to work with a new distributor. So do you know how to work with new distributor? Do you know how to get the new person started? If you don't, again, you'll need to check the essential training, right? Because in the essential training, skill number six is getting people started. So do you know how to get the new person started once you bring them into the business? And then number seven now, for a few seconds, I want you to think of medium-term goals. So goals, within about 5-year plan. Where do you want to be within about 5 years from now? Just jot few sentences down, few goals down. Okay, and then the last one, number eight, is some long-term goals. So where would you like to be in the next 10 years or more? What would you like to achieve? Great. So got you got. I hope you got few things down on your sheet, and you can continue later. So make a star, which means continue later, and you can think of more short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals. Right? Okay. So now let's talk about working tools from for a professional leader. What are the essential things to have ready in order to be able to do the business? Because again, we say it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not to have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared for it. So it's really, really important to have the certain tools. So tool number one is basic presentation. So you have to have a basic presentation, no longer than 15 minutes, in order to show somebody the business model that we work with, in order to explain somebody the business in an easy, duplicatable way. What I mean by that, it shouldn't be in your head. The presentation should be on paper, on your computer, as a video, on your phone, on your tablet, or whatever. It should not be in your head. Why? Because the person that you're showing it to must see that, okay, I could do that. I could show somebody a video, or I could take somebody through some slides, or whatever, right? Because if it's all in your head, they'll think, I couldn't do that. So that's number one. Number two is a list of contacts. And if you're serious about succeeding in this business, you will need at least 100 people on your contact list. And in a moment, I'll explain to you why. But the more, the better, obviously. Number three is a website or a Facebook fan page. So if you haven't done so yet, create a Facebook page for your business. Because now that you have your own FM business, you need to have a Facebook page. You have to have a Facebook page that actually will help you to promote your business, to promote your products, etc. And then number four is multimedia presentation, right? So that's might be a video or a PowerPoint or whatever, right? Now there's few conditions here. All tools have to be simple, duplicatable, and professional. So it has to look good, to be simple enough, and it has to be duplicatable, which means anybody else could take that tool and also use it to present the business to somebody. And the leader has to prepare an action plan for a new team member for the next few days and even next few months, if you like. So if you go back to the skill 6 of the essential training, it'll teach you there how to get a new person started and how to give them an action plan, a to-do list, if you like. And this is why you need 100 people to speak to, because statistics show that out of 100 people, about 20% will be a definite no. They will say, absolutely no, no chance on earth, no way, Jose, run, Scotty, run, and they will not join your business and they will not be interested. Okay? Another 60% will be a no, but no, not a definite one, a not yet. Some people will come back to you later. Some people need to think about it. Some people are the green personalities who need to do their research and read every single file and document and certificate before they make the decision to get started and join. Then 12% will be a yes after they had to think about it a little bit, right? So 12% will say, yeah, send me some information. I'll look at it, and yeah, I think I will join you. And then about 8% will be a definite yes. So you show them, they go, yeah, where do I sign? I want to get on this. I want to get started, right? So this is rough statistics from a contact list, right? So if you have 100 people, you can expect 8 people out of those 100 join the business. If you got 200 people on the list, that's 16 people, right? And on it goes, right? So this is why the more contacts you have on that list, the more people will potentially join. Because guess what? We are not in a convincing, converting, or preaching business. We are in a sorting business. So all we do, we sort people who are interested and who are not. It is not our job to convince people they want a better life or they need this, etc. If they are happy where they are, it's not our job to make them unhappy. We are looking for people who are already looking for something more in their life, who want a better life, who are hungry for better life. These are the people we're looking for. Okay, now finally, there's few books would like to recommend to you. There's so many, of course, books in business that it wouldn't be possible to fit all of them here, but just a few books that might be quite interesting for you to have a read through. Number one is The Compass by Tammy Kling and John Spencer Ellis. Book number two is the 45-second presentation that will change your life by Don Failer. So again, that's a very, very good tool. I've read that book quite a few times, and it's a fantastic book. Book number 3 is Personal Leadership by Brian Tracy and Frank Shalin. And again, Brian Tracy, guys, if you're not, you haven't had much information about him, he is absolutely incredible. Whatever you can, go on YouTube, put in Brian Tracy. There is hours and hours and hours of videos with Brian Tracy. He is phenomenal in terms of, efficiency, self-development, goal setting, time management. Really, really good one. Then Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Again, these books, what they will do, they will broaden your horizons. They will give you a better understanding of why do business in the first place. Because a lot of people are not, when they come from a working background, because they've worked for somebody else all of their life, sometimes they find it hard to wrap their brain around the concept of owning a business, of investing time and effort into something that will give them money for the rest of their life. And things like that. Sometimes they don't really gather these concepts very fast. So books like this, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, it helps people to really understand what owning a business is all about, and why is owning a business so much better than having a job and working for somebody else. Cash Flow Quadrant, again by Robert Kiyosaki. The Business School by Robert Kiyosaki. And the last one is Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. Again, a really, really good one to read. But there's so many. Once you start reading, you'll find another one and another one and another one and another one. And do become a student. Very often I go, people who can earn above average income in different industries, they are professionals. They've gone to university for 6, 8, maybe 10 years and studied, until they get the doctorates and etc., until they become experts in their field. But then people start their own business, they sign a registration form, and they think that they became PhD in business. Well, you haven't really. You also, as you develop, professionally, you need to develop personally as well. And reading is fantastic. One of the things I always suggest to the team members is to read at least half an hour to 60 minutes every day, every single day. Because this way you'll get into a habit. And also, if you read 30 to 60 minutes every day, that's like a book a week. That's like, I don't know how many books a year. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of knowledge. So this way, you're really building on yourself then. Okay, guys, I hope you got value from this training today.